Do you constantly feel overwhelmed and overworked by yourselves? You know, those moments when your mind just refuses to stop, replaying the same situation again and again, overanalyzing every tiny thing you said or didn't say, imagining all the possible outcomes, even the ones that don't even make sense. Of course, things happen, good or bad, but we sort of hold on to the bad more than the good in terms of suffering, right? And it's only us that puts ourselves in constant torture to suffer through things that's not even real and most times just in our heads. An event that happened in life sometime very long ago, or something that you did in some situation which you feel very embarrassed about. I've always been the kind of person who thinks a lot. Sometimes that helps me. I plan better, I reflect deeply, but sometimes it becomes this loop where I'm not thinking to solve anything, I'm just thinking. And honestly, it's exhausting. At some point, I realized overthinking doesn't change the past, and it doesn't even really prepare you for the future either. It just drains your present. And it is something that also sort of makes you lose yourself, your spark, and for what? To be honest, it's not overthinking that hurts us, it's forgetting to love ourselves in the middle of it. There were days when my thoughts ran faster than my life, when I'd replay conversations, rewrite moments, rearrange my memories, as if I could edit the past into something gentler. But the truth is, healing didn't come from fixing every thought, it came from softening towards myself, from learning to say, it's okay. I did the best I could with what I knew then. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Harshita, and as per the title, today we'll be talking a little bit about overthinking, my overthinking, your overthinking, overthinking in general. So, hear me out. You know, overthinking playing a major part of my life, consuming my life and my mind for quite some time. Today, I want to talk a little bit about how I've transformed myself from being a chronic overthinker, which I still am somewhere, sort of, to a person with manageable thoughts. It's not a rocket science, but it's also a very human emotion. So it's sort of very difficult to manage our thoughts, to be in control, like not be in control of the mind but have your mind in control of you. So some of the good things that helped me was, of course, solitude, a lot of videos, enlightening videos, and a lot of self-help books, one of which is The Art of Being Alone, which is getting mirrored by the camera, I'm sorry. But today I'll tell you some of the points which helped me change my life for better, in better ways, to be myself, to be happy with being myself. So yeah, you know, sometimes I feel it's not even overthinking that's very hard to handle, but the lack of self love during the times that we overthink, that we actually, you know, take societies or other people's perspective and we internalize it so much that we sort of stop loving ourselves, to push ourselves from the deepest depths of that nasty place to a better place. You know,
So,
it's our life, but we live as per the rules of society. Our lives have become a collection of others' thoughts and judgments. The fear of judgment is so deeply rooted within us that before anyone else, we start judging ourselves. Our biggest enemy and critique is no one else but it's us. You know, oftentimes we are so lost in the depths and pools of our thoughts that we stop differentiating which thoughts are actually ours and which is of others and the society that we are sort of internalizing, which we do not believe but we internalize, and start being very harsh and cruel with ourselves. It is our imagination that shapes our reality. And we slowly start doing things that make us look like everyone else so that we don't appear weird from the crowd. But step by step, as we become like everyone else, we go far away from who we truly are. I have internalized this thought so much that for a very long time I was so scared of being just myself. For example, I love loving people, I love showing my love to people, I love expressing. Even as simple actions like liking someone random stories or their posts on Instagram, it sort of becomes cringe, right? People take it as cringe. I mean, who is this weirdo liking everyone? It's like, why? I like it. I see something cute, I like it. I see some random person on the street that is sweet, I smile at them. I wave my hands at babies. I do everything. That's me. Just because the society sort of sees you as a cringe or a weird person because you're outgoing, you're reaching out to different people, it doesn't make you wrong. And well, how in a society will you accept anyone else if you're not able to accept yourself the way you are? Embrace yourself. It's only you that you've got the unique and personalized characteristics as you. If you are being like everyone else, then what's the difference between you and anyone else, right? We think it's okay to brush it off, to leave it for some day else, to sort of be nice to everyone else, to sort of belong in the flock. But the deeper you hide, the darker it gets inside your heart. And it's not the solution. It's just you're stocking it up for a later time. You're bottling your emotions again and again and again, and it only keeps spiraling and spiraling and drags you down the rabbit hole and deeper every single time. Oh, and this is a gem. You gotta see it out. If you don't know yourself, you will make similar mistakes in your relationship with everyone. Self love is about knowing everything about yourself, however ugly or dark or bad your truth is, and accepting yourself with it. Self love is about knowing how to transform your flaws into your strengths rather than hiding them inside you. Self love is about choosing yourself every single day to study your patterns, examine your behavior, and pay attention to your thoughts, even if they are mean at times. Self love is about creating a home deep inside of you. Be proud of who you are and accept every bit of yourself. Your inner world has more wonders than the seven wonders of the world. I mean, how beautiful it is, right? All you gotta do is accept yourself and start being with yourself, start being in the present. I mean, how much are you going to think about the past or the future? The past is already done, the future we have no idea about. So how much are you going to kill your present in your past or future? This very present is going to be past in a couple of minutes or hours. And when you look back, you want to look back to a happier, more sorted, more loving version of yourself. Not just, you don't want to look back at yourself always hating yourself for being the way you are. I mean, how are you going to face the world if you don't like the way you are? I say first we gotta sit and understand who we truly are, what makes us us, and how we can accept us for being that, how we can forgive for being weak in certain aspects, and how we can embrace the strengths in the others. Knowing yourself is a lifelong journey. Finding out yourself is a lifelong journey. And how do you plan on spending that journey? Imagine you're traveling on a vacation, you're going somewhere. You obviously look at having a comfortable journey, right? However, it is, you're taking a bus, a train, a flight, whatever. You try your best to make your journey as comfortable as possible. Envision this as the same thing. This is a lifelong journey, and how are you planning to make it more comfortable? If you're only concentrating on the bad aspects, on the low times, on the negative thoughts that are spiraling in your mind, how are you going to make it a comfortable ride? It's only going to be very torturous for your own self. Let me tell you one thing. When you walk the path of self exploration, you will realize one thing for sure, that you are not easy, which is a good thing. You know, just like eating junk food won't give you a healthy body, consuming junk worthy content or junk worthy thoughts of yourself and other people and from outside is not going to give you a healthy mind. It's not going to help you with your overthinking. It's not going to help you grow in your life or reach anywhere. You know, I'm a very big believer of dolce far niente. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it or chopping it off, but it translates to the sweetness of doing nothing. And I love doing nothing. I've recently even quit my job. I'm part time freelancing, but mostly I love doing nothing. People find it odd, and I don't even find it boring. I'm very happy being with myself in my own thoughts and in my solitude. But here again, but if that solitude is consisting of only the negative thoughts and only self deprivating and degrading thoughts and time, then why will anyone want to be in that space, right? You know, nobody wants to be there, so why do you want to put yourself in such a situation, in such a atmosphere? Sometimes it feels like we have switched off our brain and we blindly follow to the worldly expectations and the what world and other people expect us to do. And I mean, you gotta belong to yourself first, right? If you can't belong to yourself, every time someone says something to you or every time someone leaves you, you sort of end up feeling lonely because you are letting the world or someone else always define you, your thoughts, your perspective, your character, your everything. I mean, how can you leave your everything on someone else? But most of the times the answer magically exists within. You just gotta hop in to find the answers. You gotta sit with yourself, look within to find your true guidance. Life doesn't change in a single day magically. You gotta change it day by day, slowly, with the thoughts that you want in your mind, in the way that you want yourself living your life and reaching whatever dreams that you dream of or aspire of. You know, whenever I find myself in this loop of overthinking, it's very easy to blame the world, blame others, right? Because blaming others is easy. Blaming other people or the situation is easy. Or sometimes it's even rightful. A situation happened where you sort of embarrassed yourself, or someone has caused you some sort of trouble or issue, and you just got triggered and you just can't stop thinking about the things and how the events have turned out. But who is suffering? Like, who is really suffering? It's you that is suffering, it's not them. I mean, everyone is already busy in their own thoughts and their own embarrassing situations, their own trauma causing thoughts, that they are very busy thinking about their own selves, their own lives. Nobody has got time to think about you. It's you that's spiraling down the loophole or rabbit hole of thoughts, of negative thoughts. So the sufferer, the suffering person here is you. It's only going to cause you problems, cause you negative impacts of it, self doubt, insecurity, not being able to be yourselves, lot of things, and lot of not nice things. So, I guess the only way to sort of come out of it is being aware that you are the person going through and you are the only person who can help you out of it, being aware that nobody really cares at the end of the day, whatever you do, whatever you say, whatever you think, whatever you behave, and however you are. So try to be a good person, have a good impact on the surroundings. You can create your energy field, you can create your own aura and your own you can surround yourself with good energy, positive energy. So I would only say one thing, that is help yourself, I guess. Self love isn't loud, it doesn't always look like confidence or mirror affirmations. Sometimes it's the quiet decision to stop over explaining yourself. Sometimes it's choosing rest instead of guilt, or forgiving yourself for being just a human. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. So here's what I remind myself when I start spiraling: my thoughts are not my truth, my worth is not a question, and I don't need to have everything figured out to be deserving of peace.